Hello, everybody, and welcome to this session of mini audits when I'm going to be looking at some volunteers. I'm not just like putting people under the spotlight who haven't volunteered. I'm going to be looking at some people who volunteered for me to have a look at their accounts to give them a mini audit. Now, I'm just going to spend a few minutes talking about each account. And the reason why I wanted to do this is twofold. So, first of all, I was looking back through some of the content that I've posted over the last year. And I'd forgotten that right at the beginning, I started this series of suggesting like many things that people could do to elevate your Instagram accounts. And I thought, actually, let me start that up again. So I asked for some volunteers who might be willing to let me do that and record it, because the second reason why I think this can be really useful is sometimes I talk about the stuff that you should be doing on your Instagram accounts in kind of like a relatively abstract sense. And sometimes it can be more meaningful if there is an example to apply that suggestion to right in front of you. So I've got 4 volunteers today. Do have a watch through, because there may be things that are relevant to your account that you might take away and tweak and change to apply to your own content as well. So first of all, thank you to Radhika, to Alison, to Kat and to Kathleen. I'm going to be going through your accounts in just a moment. I will put the timestamps underneath this, so if you want to fast forward to anybody's account who you feel might be particularly relevant to you, then you can go ahead and do that. Now, I've done some prep before I launch into talking about these accounts, and when I was thinking about what is my approach to this and what will be useful to you, I had 3 main questions of imagining that when I land on your account, I've never seen it before, I don't have a clue who you are. And what I'm looking for is to understand who you are and what you do. So when I first visit your account, do I get a clear sense of who you are and what you do? The second thing is, do I get a clear sense of who you are talking to? So, who is the audience that your content is designed for? Do I get a clear sense of that? Because if I land on your account, I want to be looking at your content and going, "Oh yeah, this is relevant to me." And if I can't find anything that is relevant to me, but I am your ideal audience, I am actually your ideal reader, I'm going to bounce off. So, can I tell from your content who it is you're trying to talk about? Because if I can't, that's going to be a problem in terms of getting people to follow your account, because the people who you want to follow your account won't be able to tell that your account is relevant to them. And then the third question I had in my mind while I was looking at your accounts is it clear what your potential audience member will get out of following your account? Beyond knowing that you have a book, is it clear what's in it for them? Why should they follow your account? Are they going to benefit in any other way? So, on that point, I just want to explain why that's so important, because how I think we often hope Instagram will work is that we post a post and then people see that post and go and buy the book. But unfortunately, that isn't actually how Instagram works for the most part. Most people will not see one post and then buy the book when it's a post from the author. They may do that if it's a post from a bookstagrammer that they already trust, who then posts once about a book. They may then go and buy that book. But when it's you, the author, they are going to probably be a little more circumspect, and perhaps take a little bit more time before they are actually going to make that journey from seeing the post, liking the post, and then leaving the app to go and order your book. And the actual journey is a little bit more like that. People will see the post, visit your account. If they are the right reader for your book, hopefully they will then follow your account. If they're not the right reader for your book, then they probably won't follow your account. They then will see more of your posts once they're following your account, and they will probably at some point intend to buy your book, but then they'll forget. So they'll see some more of your posts and intend and forget. And they'll probably keep intending and forgetting a few times before they actually go and buy the book. That is the more realistic journey that people are taking when they come to your Instagram account for the first time. They're not going to instantly buy the book. They are probably going to spend a little bit of time meaning to, not actually doing it before they eventually do. So your content's job is to keep alive the prospect that at some point they will go and buy your book, which is why it's important that you remind them that your book exists regularly. But also, it's why it's important that your content gives them something that is going to help them understand your book, that is going to um, make them feel more disposed towards actually going to buy your book. So the initial follow, getting people to follow your account does need to be part of the journey, because otherwise they won't keep getting served your content. And that means that ultimately they're probably not going to go and buy your book. So why are they going to follow your account? What are they going to get out of following your account is one of the questions that I kept at the front of my mind when I was having a look at your accounts, the 4 writers who I'm going to look at. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through your accounts one by one. I am going to say what I like, what I think is working, and then I'm going to make some suggestions about what might not be working, or about what might not be clear. And I will also make perhaps a couple of action points for you to actually go and take. But there may be just things for you to go and think about and arrive at some sort of plan. Because obviously this is just a mini audit, so I can't go into stacks of detail about like a whole content strategy. But I will give you some pointers about things to think about. So I'm going to share my screen, and the first person we're going to look at is Kathleen. Okay, so hopefully you can now see Kathleen's account. So what I really like about Kathleen's account is that straight away, I really like her profile picture, big